So with Wimbledon just around the corner, we had the last grass court preparations for the tournament, and it was some epic matches in the final week of grass court tennis before Wimbledon. Let's go have a look at who won the titles last week, because we actually had some interesting results. Starting on the women's side of things, we're going to go to Bad Berg, where Pegula got a very important win over Iga Swiatek in the final, 6-4, 7-5. Be interesting to see if she can translate that into maybe some Grand Slam glory. And over in Eastbourne, arguably the best match of the year, Joint taking out Eala in the final, 6-4, 1-6, 7-6, 12-10 in the tiebreak, saving 4 championship points to win her second trophy in as many months. But both players got a boost in the rankings because of it. Over on the men's side of things, we start in Mallorca, where Griekspoor beat Mute 7-5, 7-6, and he'll be very dangerous in the draw of Wimbledon. And in Eastbourne for the men, Fritz takes out Brooksby 7-5, 6-1 to lift another grass court trophy. I think he's won 10 trophies and half of them are grass, and most of them at Eastbourne. He's won this title so many times, and great preparation for him going into Wimbledon next week. Let's have a look at the players that went up in the rankings this week, because there were a lot of points up for grabs. Starting with Joint winning her second title for the season. She went up 10 spots, number 41 in the world, which is a career high for her. Eala, she went up to 56 in the world, 18 spots higher than last week, which is a career high for her as well. And Brooksby, as a lucky loser, made the final of Eastbourne and almost cracks the top 100 after being banned, of course, for a while. He's trying to regain his ranking. He went up 48 spots. So some big moves there for players that did well this week. Players that dropped down the rankings this week, we had Fernandez dropping down 9 spots, number 38 in the world. Monfils, he drops down 6 spots, number 48 in the world. And Tabilo, he dropped down 24 spots to 84 in the world. He won't be playing Wimbledon though, so the injury that he's got is causing him to lose a lot of points that he's gained from this time last year. Let's start on the WTA side, because we did have some changes to the rankings, with Sabalenka staying at 1, Gauff at 2, and Pegula at 3. But Swiatek goes back up to that number 4 spot after losing a lot of points over the clay season, gained a lot this week, goes to number 4, pushes Paolini down to number 5, Zhang goes down to number 6, Andreeva stays at 7, Keys drops a few points after not defending a title this week, down to number 8, Badosa stays at 9, and Navarro at 10. So Swiatek, after one grass court final, gets back into that top 4. She's still a fair way away from Pegula though. She's going to have to really do some damage at Wimbledon if she's going to try and crack back into that top 3. But a big move ahead of Wimbledon. Doesn't change anything. The seedings don't change at Wimbledon because that was based on last week's ranking. But great to see Swiatek getting some form. And of course, Pegula well and truly in that top 3 and should be considered as one of the favorites now for Wimbledon, I reckon. Let's look at the race of the finals now, because we didn't have many major changes, with Sabalenka staying at 1 and Gauff at 2. Swiatek, though, she went up to number 3, pushing Keys down to number 4 after making the final in Bad Berg. Andreeva stays at 5, with Pegula at 6, Paolini at 7, Rybakina at 8, Svitolina at 9, and Anisimova rounds out the top 10 for this week. But of course, with 2,000 points on the line, when we do this again at the end of Wimbledon, expect this to change. Over on the men's side of things, we had no changes at all to the top 10 because most of the players didn't play this week. Sinner stays at 1, Alcaraz at 2, Zverev stays at 3 with Draper at 4. Fritz, despite winning in Eastbourne, stays at number 5. Djokovic at 6, Musetti at 7, Rune at 8, Medvedev at 9, and Shelton rounds out the top 10. But of course, with Wimbledon, 2,000 points on the line, expect some changes the next time we revisit the rankings. Going to the race of the finals now, and again, no changes because most of these guys didn't play. Alcaraz stays at number 1 for the most points this season. He's almost qualified by points for the ATP Finals. Of course, him and Alcaraz, of course, him and Sinner with the trophy next to the name means that they have won a Grand Slam. So there is that Grand Slam rule, but I doubt they'll need to use it. Sinner stays at 2 with Zverev at 3, Draper at 4 and Musetti at 5, Djokovic at 6 with Ruud at 7, Paul at 8, Demonor at 9, and Rune rounds out the top 10. And again, just like the ladies' side, expect some changes to these in a couple of weeks' time, especially because Ruud isn't playing Wimbledon. So keep an eye on his ranking in 2 weeks' time, because he might be out of this top 10 and someone might replace him. So there you have it. They are the rankings for this week. Nothing really to talk about on the men's side of things. Most of them didn't play. But on the women's side, of course, that joint Eala final, so fun to watch. And then that really important match between Swiatek and Pegula on the grass. I mean, is Pegula a favorite for Wimbledon? Let me know down in the comments below. Are you going to pick her to win Wimbledon? I mean, it's pretty open, the women's draw. And we have seen players over the time, especially over the last 10 or so years, being a bit of random champions. So could Pegula potentially be a Wimbledon champion? Massive confidence boost over Swiatek. But there it is. Those are the rankings for this week. We'll talk about this in a couple weeks' time when Wimbledon's done.